Hey everybody, welcome back to Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia. Last time, our heroes had their first taste of battle and cleared out some ruffians outside of Ram Village. And in this episode, we move onwards through the Fleecer's Forest. Like the previous battle, you won't be able to change your unit's positions before the fight, so I'm taking care of that here. And while on this menu, let's take a look at our current party, starting off with Alm. Compared to the rest of our units, Alm stands out with his incredible bulk and movement. Because Alm can move 5 spaces, he does an excellent job at securing kills for our other units, who need the experience more than he does. Movement is very scarce in the early game. You don't get your first flyer until the Southern Outpost, and your first cavalier doesn't join until the end of Act 1, so Alm benefits a lot from being able to outmaneuver many of the enemies in Act 1. Also, Alm has access to the convoy at any time, which can allow for some sick trading strategies. Lucas has similar stats to Alm, with slightly lower HP, skill, speed, luck, and res. But for these early maps, the two pretty much have the same performance. But once Lucas reaches level 7 and promotes to a knight, his attack and defense will skyrocket to 16 and 12 respectively. Let me reiterate, 16 attack, that's a lot. To put it into perspective, Alm's hero promotion also has 16 base attack, but we don't get that until Act 4. Unfortunately, don't get used to Lucas doubling all the time. That'll change once we get to Act 3 and the enemies get much faster. The Ram villagers aren't as interesting to talk about as Alm and Lucas, but that'll change once we promote them. Starting with Gray, he has decent HP and attack, but is mediocre everywhere else. Even though he starts at level 5 ready to promote, it doesn't take long for the rest of the villagers to catch up. In fact, Gray's high level actually hurts his experience gain in these first few battles. In Echoes, the amount of experience a unit receives scales off of their current level, so the higher level a unit is, the less experience they'll get. By the time we can promote Gray, he'll most likely have just gotten 1 level up. Next up, Tobin. He shines in the early game with his 6 base speed. And that's about all he has going for him, at least on a surface level. Speed is really important in Echoes, as you only need 1 point over your opponent to double them, or get doubled by your opponent. And there aren't too many ways to augment your unit's speed outside of stat boosters. So having a high raw speed stat makes Tobin super flexible as a villager. Compared to Cliff and Gray, Tobin has a lot more avenues in what he can promote to. It's not too unlikely you'll find lots of debate over what Tobin's best class is. On the topic of speed, Cliff serves as a foil to Tobin. He has a much lower base speed of 2, but benefits from a massive 60% growth rate, the second highest in the entire game. But don't let that high growth rate divert your attention away from his pitiful base speed. It takes at least 4 levels for Cliff to be on par with Tobin, and that's assuming you get a speed point on every single level up. When looking at character growth rates, it's sometimes easy to see a high percentage and focus solely on that unit's endgame performance, rather than their early and mid-game viability. But that's not to say Cliff's speed is unsalvageable, without feeding him a lot of kills at least. In fact, I have a special plan for him that will solve his low base speed issue once we promote him. Last but not least is Faye, but honestly, I don't really have much to say about her. Her performance as a unit is heavily dependent on what class you make her, and I'll go over her best option once we reach the Thieves' Shrine. Though I do want to give special attention to her 40% defense growth rate. Faye can get surprisingly bulky early on, and having high defense is extremely useful, as a majority of enemies in this game attack for physical damage rather than magical. Anyways, that's enough blathering from me. Let's march forward.
Hold, everyone.
What is it, Lucas? More brigands? It seems the rumors were no exaggeration.
Based on their numbers, I surmise they must have a hideout nearby. But we can ill afford to pick fights with every cut-person rogue we encounter. Let's sit back and lay low until they depart.
Did you get a look at the wench we nabbed this morning? Hoo-wee! She'll certainly add some color to that run-down old shrine. She's prettier than the boss, that's for sure.
What? They've taken a prisoner?
Let's just be calm. Wait, don't.
Hold it, you lecherous pigs!
Huh? Who the hell are you?
Release the woman you're holding at once, or else!
Or else what? You must really want a knife in the belly if you're slinging taunts at the likes of us.
So much for laying low. To arms, everyone. Look over there. They have an archer. He can strike from a distance, so we must plan our approach carefully. Whoever goes after him needs to finish him quickly or be ready for a reprisal. If you're not strong enough to take an arrow or two, stay well away.
Lucas is 2 for 2 for giving awesome advice to the player. Here, we have a new enemy type, an archer. However, unlike traditional Fire Emblem archers, these guys wield bows that can attack at one range, which means they can counter melee opponents without any problems. Additionally, archers have the passive ability Bow Range +1, which further increases their threat range, and can sometimes endanger your backline units if not careful. But we don't have to worry about any of that on this map. Alm and Lucas can finish off the archer before he gets to do anything.
You can't touch me!
Allow me.
No!
It's done. A palpable improvement.
Just say the word.
Tobin's job is to lure in the 2 closest brigands and weaken them on enemy phase. The position he will take will maximize the support points he gains with both Gray and Cliff.
Stand back! Come at me, fools!
Ideally, I want the brigands to attack Tobin from these 2 spaces. If this brigand attacks from Tobin's left, Faye can reach him and get the kill. However, this brigand has enough movement to reach Tobin from either above or to his left, and the AI will randomly decide where he'll go. If I lose the coin flip and he ends up above Tobin, that will clog up the spot for the second brigand, and he'll end up on his right. This is the worst case scenario, and would cost me an extra turn to clear this map. Faye wouldn't be able to reach anybody, and all the male villagers would have to hug the eastern wall of the map, way out of position of all the other enemies. If the first brigand does choose the ideal spot, then it's another coin flip for the second brigand. I want him to end up above Tobin, so that the rest of my units can remain closer to the center of the map. That's one 50-50. Now, we just need to win the next coin flip. Bingo. After passing that hurdle of a turn, the rest of the battle is just a game of maximizing our unit's experience and support points. Things should be smooth sailing as long as no one gets a crit.
Maybe I'm imagining things. Yeah, I got it.
Tobin deals enough damage here for Faye to pick up the kill, as long as he doesn't... Oh.
This is the part that hurts. Better than you expected?
Yep, that was definitely better than expected, but not wanted. At least he gets a good level up here. Speed is important.
That's a new one.
Alm moves north towards the boss. Along the way, he'll weaken 3 brigands for the rest of our units to kill.
There we go.
It's nice to get stronger.
While I try to figure out how to best position my units, I want to talk about how the AI retreats. In this game, enemies that are at half health or below will start to retreat to a healing tile. This mechanic can prolong maps to unnecessary lanes, especially right now when we don't have any access to ranged weapons or high mobility units. On this map, it's especially bad. There's a healing tile in the southwestern corner, and if the boss is still occupying his spot, the enemy AI will make a book for the corner and take advantage of the forests to avoid your attacks. This can get pretty annoying.
Success!
I do love a good fight.
I've positioned Alm in the forest. This is so he can maximize his avoid chances. Also, I put Lucas right behind him so that he can finish the job just in case Alm misses an attack.
Okay, I'm ready.
Alm is at 90 experience. Because bonus XP after battle can't level up a unit and stops at 99, a majority of the experience points that Alm gets will be wasted. I go ahead and feed him this kill so he can level up now and utilize more of his bonus XP after battle.
I feel light on my feet today.
That was invigorating. Well, I suppose that counts as our good deed for the day.
Sorry, Lucas. My legs were moving before I had a chance to even think.
Valor is nothing to be sorry for. Now come, let's find this prisoner they spoke of. They mentioned a shrine, yes? It must be nearby.